What is self-love? Ladies and gentlemen, when we hear the term self-love, it often conjures images of bubble baths, indulgent desserts, or a day at the spa. While these moments of self-care are important, true self-love runs deeper. It is not a fleeting moment of treating yourself. It is a lifelong journey of treating yourself with the dignity, kindness, and respect you deserve. Self-love begins with understanding and accepting who you truly are, beyond the expectations society places on you or the roles you fulfill in your everyday life. It is a profound journey into self-awareness that calls for you to peel back the layers of identity constructed by others, the labels, titles, and judgments, and explore the authentic essence of your being. At the heart of self-love is this fundamental realization: you are enough, just as you are. This realization doesn't come easily, nor does it happen overnight. It requires intention, patience, and most importantly, honesty. When we talk about understanding ourselves, we're not just referencing the superficial traits we show to the world, our talents, skills, or outward demeanor. Instead, this understanding goes deeper. It involves recognizing your emotions, patterns, and the underlying motivations behind your actions. It is looking inward and asking questions that often feel uncomfortable. What drives me? What fears do I hold? What beliefs have shaped my identity, and do they still serve me? These questions form the foundation of self-awareness, but they also require courage. Confronting yourself, the good, the bad, and the parts you'd rather ignore, is no small task. As you navigate this introspection, acceptance becomes the cornerstone of self-love. Acceptance does not mean complacency. It doesn't mean that you stop striving for growth or that you ignore areas where you can improve. Instead, acceptance is about embracing the reality of who you are in this moment without judgment or harsh criticism. It's about looking at your flaws, mistakes, and all, and choosing to see someone worthy of love and compassion. This process is liberating because it frees you from the endless cycle of trying to measure up to unrealistic standards, whether they come from society, others, or even your own harsh inner critic. One of the biggest barriers to self-acceptance is the tendency to compare ourselves to others. In a world dominated by social media and constant connectivity, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your worth against curated highlights of someone else's life. You see their successes, their happiness, their seemingly perfect existence, and suddenly you feel inadequate. But self-love teaches you to shift your focus inward. It reminds you that your journey is yours alone, and it's okay if it looks different from someone else's. Comparison robs you of the ability to celebrate your unique path and individuality, and self-love demands that you reclaim that power. Another key aspect of understanding and accepting yourself is learning to embrace vulnerability. Often we associate vulnerability with weakness, but it is quite the opposite. Vulnerability is the courage to show up as your authentic self, even when it feels risky. It is allowing yourself to feel deeply, to acknowledge pain or fear, and to be honest about what you need. This level of honesty with yourself is a form of self-respect. It is recognizing that you are human, with all the complexities that come with it, and that you don't have to hide behind a facade to be worthy of love. In embracing vulnerability, you also learn to make peace with your imperfections. Society often glorifies perfection, pushing the narrative that you must constantly achieve, improve, and present yourself flawlessly to be valued. But the reality is that perfection is unattainable, and chasing it only leads to burnout and dissatisfaction. Self-love invites you to shift your perspective. Instead of focusing on what you perceive to be missing or flawed, it encourages you to appreciate what already exists. It's about recognizing that your imperfections are not weaknesses, but part of what makes you unique and human. They are what connect you to others and give depth to your story. This process of self-acceptance also requires letting go of the need for external validation. Many of us seek approval from others as a way to feel valued or loved, but this often leads to a cycle of dependency where your sense of self-worth hinges on the opinions or reactions of those around you. Self-love breaks this cycle by reminding you that your worth is not something that others can grant or take away. It is intrinsic. You are valuable simply because you exist, not because of what you accomplish, how you look, or how others perceive you. This understanding is empowering because it shifts the source of your validation inward, placing it firmly in your hands. As you journey deeper into self-awareness and acceptance, you'll likely encounter resistance both from within and outside yourself. Your inner critic may try to convince you that you're not deserving of love, or that focusing on yourself is selfish. Society, too, may perpetuate the idea that self-love is indulgent or unnecessary. But the truth is, self-love is not about arrogance or self-centeredness. It's about honoring the relationship you have with yourself as the foundation for everything else in your life. When you accept and love yourself, you become better equipped to show up for others, to contribute to the world authentically, and to live a life aligned with your true values. The practice of self-love also involves extending grace to yourself. You will have moments when you fall short, make mistakes, or struggle to live up to your own standards. These moments are opportunities to practice self-compassion, to remind yourself that you are human and that imperfection is part of the journey. Instead of criticizing yourself or dwelling on your shortcomings, self-love encourages you to approach these moments with kindness and understanding. It is through this grace that you learn resilience and develop the strength to keep moving forward. Understanding and accepting yourself is not a one-time event, it is a continuous process. As you grow and evolve, so too will your relationship with yourself. There will be days when self-love feels easy and natural, and there will be days when it feels like an uphill battle. But with each step you take, you build a stronger foundation of trust and respect within yourself, creating a life that is rooted in authenticity and fulfillment. Ultimately, self-love is about being at peace with who you are. It is about recognizing that you are worthy of love, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. It is the daily commitment to show up for yourself, to honor your needs, and to embrace the beautiful, imperfect, and ever-evolving person you are becoming. Replacing negative inner dialogue with affirmations and words of encouragement is one of the most transformative aspects of self-love. The way we speak to ourselves shapes not only how we feel about ourselves, but also how we navigate the world. Unfortunately, for many of us, our inner dialogue has been conditioned by criticism, doubt, and fear, often learned behaviors influenced by past experiences, societal expectations, or the opinions of others. This critical voice, sometimes referred to as the inner critic, can become so ingrained that we don't even recognize how harsh we're being with ourselves. Imagine speaking to a friend the way you speak to yourself on a bad day. If your friend made a mistake, you wouldn't call them names, belittle their efforts, or remind them of every other time they failed. Yet this is often exactly how we treat ourselves. We berate ourselves for mistakes, dwell on our perceived shortcomings, and replay moments of failure in our minds as if they define us. This negative self-talk creates a cycle of self-doubt and low self-esteem, making it harder to feel good about who we are or to take risks and grow. The first step to changing this narrative is awareness. Pay attention to the words you use when speaking to yourself, especially in moments of difficulty or stress. Notice how quickly the inner critic jumps in to judge or criticize. It might tell you that you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. It might remind you of past failures or make you feel that your efforts will never be enough. Recognizing this negative voice is crucial because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. Once you've identified the patterns of your inner dialogue, the next step is to challenge them. Just because a thought arises in your mind doesn't mean it's true. Many of the negative beliefs we hold about ourselves are not based on fact, but rather on distorted perceptions or unrealistic expectations. For example, if your inner critic says, "I always fail at everything," pause and reflect. Is that really true? Are there instances where you've succeeded or overcome challenges? By questioning these automatic thoughts, you can begin to see them for what they are: unhelpful narratives that don't serve your growth. Replacing these negative thoughts with affirmations is a powerful practice. Affirmations are positive statements that reinforce your worth, abilities, and potential. They are not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. Rather, they are about choosing to focus on the positive aspects of yourself and your life. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm such a failure," you might say, "I am capable of learning and growing from my experiences." Instead of thinking, "I'll never be good enough," you can affirm, "I am enough just as I am." The key to effective affirmations is repetition. At first, these positive statements may feel unnatural or even uncomfortable, especially if you're used to being your own harshest critic. But over time, as you consistently affirm your worth and abilities, these new thoughts will begin to replace the old negative patterns. Think of it like rewiring your brain with practice. You can create new pathways that lead to self-compassion and confidence instead of self-criticism and doubt. Another important aspect of positive self-talk is tone. Even when we're trying to be kind to ourselves, the tone of our inner voice can sometimes carry a hint of sarcasm or doubt. For example, saying, "I guess I'm okay," with a dismissive tone doesn't have the same impact as saying, "I am proud of myself for doing my best," with genuine warmth and sincerity. Pay attention to not just the words you use, but also the energy and intention behind them. Speak to yourself as you would speak to someone you deeply care about, with encouragement, understanding, and love. It's also helpful to create rituals or habits around positive self-talk. Start your day by looking in the mirror and saying 3 affirmations out loud. They can be simple yet meaningful, like, "I am deserving of love and respect," "I am strong and capable," or "Today I choose to focus on the good." Writing affirmations in a journal can also be a grounding practice. By putting pen to paper, you reinforce these positive beliefs and create a tangible reminder of your commitment to self-love. In moments of struggle or doubt, pause and take a deep breath. Remind yourself that you are human and that it's okay to have difficult moments. Instead of criticizing yourself, offer words of comfort and reassurance. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you might say, "It's okay to feel this way. I am doing the best I can." And that is enough. This kind of self-compassion not only helps you move through challenges more gracefully, but also strengthens your sense of self-worth. As you practice positive self-talk, you may notice a shift in other areas of your life. When you treat yourself with kindness and respect, it becomes easier to set boundaries, pursue your goals, and build healthy relationships. You may also find that you're more resilient in the face of setbacks because your inner dialogue becomes a source of strength rather than a source of discouragement. Taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical well-being is a cornerstone of self-love. It is an active process that involves prioritizing your needs, understanding your boundaries, and cultivating habits that nurture your overall health. In a world where we often prioritize productivity and external demands over our personal well-being, this practice requires intentionality and commitment. It's not selfish, but rather a vital part of living a balanced and fulfilling life. The mental aspect of self-care begins with creating space for your thoughts and emotions. This means acknowledging and processing your feelings rather than suppressing them. Too often, people are conditioned to push through challenges without giving themselves the time to reflect on what they're experiencing internally. Suppressing emotions may work temporarily, but over time it leads to mental fatigue and emotional strain. Taking care of your mind involves recognizing when you need a break, allowing yourself time to rest, and seeking moments of clarity to understand your feelings. Practices like mindfulness and meditation are incredibly effective for mental self-care. They provide an opportunity to pause, breathe, and center yourself amid life's chaos. Mindfulness is not about eliminating thoughts, but rather about observing them without judgment. When you practice mindfulness regularly, you become more attuned to your inner world and better equipped to respond to life's challenges with a calm and focused mind. Meditation, even for just a few minutes a day, can help you reduce stress, improve concentration, and build resilience against anxiety. Journaling is another valuable tool for mental well-being. Writing down your thoughts and feelings helps you gain clarity and process your experiences. It creates a safe space where you can explore your fears, dreams, and desires without the pressure of judgment. Journaling also allows you to track patterns in your emotions and behaviors, helping you identify triggers in areas of your life that may need adjustment. This simple act of putting pen to paper can be profoundly therapeutic and empowering. Caring for your emotional well-being is equally crucial. Emotional self-care involves understanding your feelings, setting boundaries, and practicing self-compassion. It starts with recognizing that all emotions, even the difficult ones, are valid and worth acknowledging. Rather than labeling certain feelings as bad or wrong, self-love invites you to approach them with curiosity and understanding. By doing so, you can learn more about yourself and what you need to feel supported and fulfilled. Setting boundaries is a fundamental aspect of emotional self-care. It's about recognizing your limits and communicating them to others clearly and respectfully. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, but rather about protecting your energy and prioritizing your needs. For example, if you find that certain relationships leave you feeling drained or unappreciated, setting limits on your time and energy in those interactions is an act of self-love. It allows you to focus on connections that uplift and nurture you rather than those that deplete your emotional reserves. Emotional well-being also involves practicing self-compassion. This means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a close friend. When you make a mistake or face a setback, it's easy to fall into a pattern of self-criticism. However, self-compassion encourages you to acknowledge your humanity and extend grace to yourself. Instead of saying, I should have done better, try telling yourself, I did the best I could with the knowledge and resources I had at the time. This shift in perspective helps you build a healthier relationship with yourself and fosters emotional resilience. Physical well-being is an essential part of self-care that cannot be overlooked. Taking care of your body is not just about aesthetics or achieving fitness goals, it's about honoring the vessel that carries you through life. Proper nutrition, regular exercise, and adequate rest are the pillars of physical self-care. Eating balanced, nourishing meals fuels your body and mind, giving you the energy to pursue your passions and handle daily responsibilities. It's not about restrictive diets or punishing yourself for indulging, but about making choices that make you feel strong and vibrant. Exercise is another vital component of physical well-being. Movement doesn't have to be rigorous or time-consuming to be effective. Whether it's a daily walk, yoga session, or dance class, the goal is to find activities that bring you joy and make you feel alive. Regular exercise not only strengthens your body but also releases endorphins, which are natural mood boosters. It reduces stress, improves sleep, and enhances your overall sense of well-being. Rest is equally important in taking care of your physical health. In a culture that often glorifies hustle and overwork, giving yourself permission to rest can feel revolutionary. Sleep is essential for your body to repair itself, process emotions, and maintain optimal functioning. Skipping sleep or neglecting rest periods during the day may seem productive in the short term, but it ultimately takes a toll on your physical and mental health. Prioritizing rest is not a sign of weakness, but a powerful way to show yourself love and respect. Beyond these fundamental aspects of mental, emotional, and physical care, self-love involves embracing practices that bring you joy and fulfillment. This might mean carving out time for hobbies, spending time in nature, or engaging in creative pursuits. It could involve surrounding yourself with positive influences, whether that's uplifting books, inspiring podcasts, or supportive communities. The goal is to cultivate an environment that nurtures your spirit and aligns with your values. Taking care of your well-being also means seeking support when needed. Asking for help is not a sign of failure, but an act of courage and self-respect. Whether it's talking to a trusted friend, seeking therapy, or joining a support group, reaching out for help is a reminder that you don't have to face life's challenges alone. It's an acknowledgement of your worth and a commitment to taking care of yourself in the best way possible. In nurturing your mental, emotional, and physical well-being, you create a foundation for self-love that allows you to show up fully in your life. It's not a one-time act, but an ongoing journey of learning, growth, and compassion. By making your well-being a priority, you honor the unique and irreplaceable person that you are, reminding yourself every day that you are worthy of care, love, and respect. Recognizing your intrinsic value is a profound and transformative act of self-love. At its core, this means understanding that your worth is not contingent on external achievements, validations, or comparisons. It is an unwavering acknowledgement of your innate significance simply because you exist. In a world often driven by performance, competition, and societal expectations, embracing your intrinsic value requires a conscious shift in perspective, one that moves away from seeking worth outside yourself to finding it within. This understanding begins with the realization that every individual is inherently worthy. You do not need to earn your value, it is already present. From the moment of your existence, you carry a unique combination of qualities, experiences, and potential that no one else can replicate. This uniqueness is not a standard to be measured against, but a reflection of the vast diversity of human existence. Embracing your intrinsic value means appreciating this individuality and resisting the urge to define yourself by external markers such as career success, physical appearance, or social status. One of the most common barriers to recognizing intrinsic value is the habit of comparison. From a young age, many people are conditioned to measure themselves against others, whether in academics, physical attributes, or professional achievements. This tendency to compare creates a sense of competition, where self-worth becomes tied to outperforming others. However, this mindset overlooks the simple truth that everyone is on their own unique journey with different strengths, challenges, and timelines. When you compare yourself to others, you diminish your individuality and lose sight of the value you inherently possess. Shifting your focus inward and celebrating your unique qualities is a powerful way to honor your intrinsic worth. Another obstacle is the tendency to tie self-worth to external accomplishments or the validation of others. While achievements and recognition can bring a sense of satisfaction, they are not the source of your value. They are simply outcomes of your efforts and skills, which do not define who you are at your core. When you base your worth on external factors, you risk feeling inadequate or unworthy during moments of failure or rejection. Recognizing your intrinsic value allows you to separate your sense of self from transient successes or setbacks. You come to understand that your worth remains constant, regardless of external circumstances. To embrace your intrinsic value, self-awareness is essential. This involves taking time to reflect on who you are beyond your roles, achievements, or societal labels. It means asking yourself questions like, what qualities make me unique? And what brings me joy, meaning, or fulfillment? By exploring these aspects of yourself, you begin to see your value as rooted in your essence rather than in what you do or achieve. This self-awareness fosters a deeper connection with yourself, allowing you to honor your feelings, desires, and needs without judgment. Practicing self-acceptance is a vital step in recognizing your intrinsic worth. This means embracing yourself as you are, with all your strengths and imperfections. It involves letting go of the idea that you must be flawless or meet certain standards to be deserving of love and respect. Self-acceptance is not about complacency or avoiding growth. Rather, it is about acknowledging your humanity and treating yourself with kindness as you navigate life's complexities. When you accept yourself fully, you create a foundation of self-love that empowers you to grow and thrive without the burden of unrealistic expectations. Affirming your intrinsic value often requires challenging negative beliefs or internalized messages that suggest otherwise. Many people carry self-critical thoughts or limiting beliefs formed by past experiences, societal pressures, or cultural norms. These beliefs can create a sense of unworthiness or inadequacy that undermines self-love. To counteract this, it's important to identify and challenge these thoughts actively. Replacing self-critical narratives with affirmations such as "I am enough, I deserve love and respect," or "my value is inherent," can gradually shift your mindset and reinforce your belief in your intrinsic worth. Another way to honor your intrinsic value is by nurturing self-compassion. This means treating yourself with the same care and understanding that you would offer to a loved one. When you make a mistake or face a challenge, self-compassion invites you to respond with gentleness rather than harsh criticism. It acknowledges that imperfection is part of being human,